The 2010 elections in Sweden will go down in history. For the first time, the country had two serious contenders for government ranged against each other, and for the first time, Sweden had the real possibility of electing a female prime minister. But the indecisive outcome of the vote could mean that the ruling coalition would now have to include some extra faces. And that could mean that a minority xenophobic party would find itself playing a key role in the direction of Swedish politics. This election also saw the emergence of a new phenomenon in the Swedish hustings. An established tradition of any Swedish election campaign is that all political parties have their own election hut, the Valstuga. These huts are put up in public places in every town and city in Sweden, and they give politicians the opportunity to meet their constituents right in the middle of everyday life. As part of Expressen's election coverage, and exactly 1 month before the 2010 election, Expressen opened the doors of its very own Valstuga. It was the first newspaper in Sweden ever to do so.
This election cottage, which we in Sweden would refer to as the Valstuga, is just one part of the Expressen election campaign, which started on the day 100 days before the election.
There was another first for the 2010 Swedish election: the use of social media. Never before had so many politicians turned to blogging, twittering and discussion in digital fora. Spin doctors, Twitter and Facebook are great as social mediums. But even in today's wired world, face-to-face meetings between people are still one of the most important forms of all communication. Expressen's Valstuga became a talking point in the media's coverage of the Swedish election, a democratic forum in the centre of the Swedish capital for both established politicians and new political hopefuls. It was a place where both the man in the street and hardcore journalists alike could ask questions and get answers directly from politicians and opinion leaders.
This day we've done more than 6 live web TV shows from this Valstuga. 2 of the ministers in the cabinet have been debating with the opposition politicians. 2 more ministers have been here advocating their political issue. Web TV has been an integral part of this Valstuga campaign. We've done more than 60 live web TV shows with politicians from the Valstuga in the middle of Stockholm, in just a couple of yards from the Parliament House. Politicians are asked by our political reporters the very important questions in this election process, but also asked by the people who are stopping by, listening to the politicians. During their speeches, we also report live on our internet site, expressen.se. So there is a live chat, there is a live web reporting from what people are asking, from what the politicians are saying, and then you can watch the entire questioning process on our expressen.tv site. So it's possible for not only the people in Stockholm to take part in this, also in the newspaper, 2 pages every day dedicated to the Valstuga.
Everyone who was anyone was there, and some of them came again and again. And for the newspaper, it provided a centre point in Expressen's total coverage of the election campaign. It took the old Swedish tradition of politicians meeting the man on the street and brought it right up to date with its live appearances and digital coverage, giving everybody the opportunity to participate directly in the political debate. The Expressen Valstuga became a unique forum for gaining visibility. It brought with it positive public relations and valuable media coverage in all Expressen's channels.
Jag tycker det är alldeles utmärkt. Det blir en liten annan kontakt än över tv-rutan.
Valstugan har varit väldigt bra tycker jag. Det har varit roligt, jag är här för 3:e gången.
Perfekt för gemene man så att man får höra lite vad det handlar om helt enkelt.
Bra torgdebatter är spännande och ger lite nerv åt valkampanjen.
Expressen's Valstuga was an unprecedented success. This unique collaboration between marketing and editorial staff produced a huge response from politicians, opinion leaders, readers and the public. It attracted more visitors through its doors than each political party's own individual election huts. Thousands of people stopped by just to listen, to speak up, to participate and to challenge. During election night, as the political parties shut up their own election huts and the vote counting started, it was the Expressen Valstuga that offered the last word on the politicians' promises.